Howdy folks, it's RJ Helms here, back with some more Let's Play Capitalism Lab. So we've got our basic supply chain set up. We've got retail in every city, I believe. City, my firms, one Paris, yep. Miami, yes. Seoul, yes. Warsaw, yes. That's great. We've got research going. We're producing all of the 4 goods that we need to have to stake out our dominance in the apparel sector. And we are producing leather and wool. So I want to get moving pretty quickly this episode to accomplish a couple of things. The first thing I want to do is switch some of these things to having warehouses. You can see with our blazers, sweaters, and leather jackets, one large factory, even with the training budget cranked, is not able to completely satisfy the demand that we have. So I want to switch with multiple factories, and then to simplify managing the supply chains, have some warehouses. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to start with large warehouses. I'm just going to build one for each of these goods. First one is going to be my leather jacket warehouse. I'll link this up manually. Crosses, across, and across, and this is just going to go to my leather jacket shop. I'm going to switch the factory to internal sale. Obviously I have a bunch of suppliers already on it, or a bunch of customers, but I'm not too worried about that. But going forward, I'm going to switch all my stores to the to using the warehouse as the place they're going to buy from. And going forward, I want any new competitors that are going to buy from me to also do the same thing. Same thing with this one. And the reason I'm building 2 inputs instead of 1 is because I'm going to build a second factory for each of these things. You will be my sweater, which my sweater warehouse, or my sweater factory, to be internal sale as well. And finally, this one will be for blazers. Storage, output, input, storage, output. You will buy blazers. And the blazer factory will also go to internal sale. One thing I want to see also is in my options, I want to set default internal sale to enabled. I should have done that quite some time ago, just because if a product's in high demand, you'll get people buying it right away the second that you get your sales units hooked up. And once someone already is a purchaser, switching to internal sale won't kick them off. So it's better to have this enabled, which I meant to do quite some time ago at the start of the series, because on that basis, the you get to opt in to having people, competitors being able to buy from you, rather than having to opt out and possibly not doing it fast enough. So I'm going to go to all my retail stores, and I'm going to switch for those 3 goods over to the warehouses. So link supplier, I can go warehouse only. So this is my sweater purchaser, my leather jacket purchaser, and this is my blazer purchaser. These guys should be switched all to using the warehouse. Next shop, do the same thing. So for leather jackets, I'm going to go to all cities. So leather jacket, purchase from the warehouse. Sweater from the warehouse. And blazer, purchase from the warehouse. This one I just switched. Sorry, I think I did the wrong thing here. Yes, okay, next. So blazer from the warehouse, leather jacket from the warehouse, and sweater from the warehouse. Blazer from the warehouse, sweater from the warehouse, leather jacket from the warehouse. Finally, that should be this one. So from the warehouse, sweater from the warehouse, and leather jacket from the warehouse. So that should be all of them. Yes, it is. Perfect. If I go to my factories, I should see the only customer of my own company of this store is the warehouse. I'm not going to do it with jeans just yet because I still haven't hit the demand for this factory even at level 1, but I want to be ready to do that when the time comes. So I'm moving right along. I want to do the same thing, or I want to add another factory of each of these goods to pump up the demand in the warehouse. So let's go for a factory, a large factory. And this will be a leather jacket factory. So it's found my own company as the leather purchaser. And it's found a textile purchaser, so this is going to be my leather. And that's set up for leather jackets. This is going to default to internal sale. And so we want 2 more factories. Another factory, this will be for sweaters. And another factory for blazers. Turn up the speed just a little bit. And I hit my goal, that's great. So this is the $20 million goal, or $200 million of revenue, so we've hit that, which is perfect. Get a personal cash bonus of $5 million for meeting it, which is great, and some points, which I don't really care about. Get the rewards, and we'll get a new goal momentarily, yes. So this is the goal where the target is to dominate the apparel industry, which we're well on our way to doing, which is wonderful. Okay, so I can link this guy up if I go to only my suppliers. I'll go for the leather jacket one that is not having any demand, which is this one here. My sweaters are ready, so I'll do the same thing. Go to the sweater that doesn't have any demand, and finally, for the third one, to the blazers. Link up for the blazer that doesn't have any demand. Now I'll have to equalize out my my prices. So for example, this leather jacket is selling for $81, but my next one is selling for $144. Which I think is just the default price. I can tweak those prices as time goes on. And so now I should be able to have a lot more capacity at my retail stores for all of those goods. The next thing I want to do is my research in textiles and dye stuff is almost finished. And so I want to be able to move into those sectors when this research completes, which will be very, very soon. So as far as the dye stuff, I think let's look in the manufacturer guide, which is not that link. To go to dye stuff, it needs timber and oil, so those are just natural resources. But for textiles, I'm going to want cotton. So I'm going to build a farm right now to grow cotton. I do need some more cash to do that because I've blown through all of my cash on hand for that other expansion. I'm going to issue some shares to do this just because I will make a lot of money from issuing not very many shares. There, so I will issue 100,000 shares and change to raise $20 million. Do more than enough to build my farm. There's actually no point in going for a prefab thing, because this is what you want a farm to look like. And get their training budget cranked for this. And the reason I did that so quickly, because it is February now, so I want this to sow as quickly as possible. And so then in June, I should be able, when my cotton grows, I'll be able to open up a textile factory and switch my factories over to that. I'm just going to do a pass through all my buildings just to tweak prices and capacities. One thing I forgot to do is warehouses. Actually, it looks like I did it. I don't want those on internal sale. But these I'll do. And the cotton, when it comes up, I will as well. So let's start with this one, which is shop 1. And let's just cycle through and tweak some of our prices. So my jeans factory is coming up on being at capacity, which is great. Right, so going through. Let's look at this linen thing. I'm being crowded out by a seaport. I imagine everybody's buying from. So I could try to lower my price. Let's do that, see what we get. It might not be worth it just to lower the price to meet that demand for... kind of meet that competitor head on. What I'm going to do is switch some of this factory over to producing textiles. When the time comes, this factory is of course being underutilized, producing just linen. This blazer price can rise. My leather goods price can rise a little bit because I'm over capacity. I don't want to do that. There's my apparel store. Raise these prices a fair deal. These prices just a little bit in Warsaw. And wool I'm out of, because of the seasonal nature. So these are my warehouses, which are now low on demand. So that's what I kind of wanted to see. I've got some inventory built up here, and so this will smooth out my kind of peaks and valleys of the demand I have. And in my supply as well. Yeah, this sweater shop just kind of died when the wool ran out, so I'm going to improve some of my wool capacity as well. Blazer factory's doing fine. Actually, one thing I meant to do, okay, I did kick in the training here. The cotton is almost ready because it's going to be ready in June, and it is now May. And we're back at firm number 1. Now, one thing I want to do is make sure that these warehouses are selling the goods at a profit. The cost will change as I tweak the values of my factories. But I want to make sure that, even just on paper, I'm selling a bit of profit here, just so that I know that my sale price reflects the prices of my factories, and then thus of my supply chain. My R&D of textiles and dye stuff is complete, which is great because my cotton is ready here. I'm going to go to this factory. linen factory. It's in another city, isn't it? Yeah, so that was a little silly, but what can you do? If I was smarter, I would have built the cotton plant, cotton farm in Miami as well, rather than building it in Paris. But I wasn't smart. Now I will have textiles on the market as well. And as soon as those are ready, I will switch over my factories to buying those textiles. And then as I need to, I can switch more manufacturing units over to building textiles rather than building linen. I'm going to look at all my factories and find whichever ones buy textiles. So this one does. I'm going to go my company and switch to this textile supplier. Perfect. Jeans factory, I'll switch to my textile supplier. My sweater factory does not use textiles. This is the textile factory. The blazer factory needs textiles. Another leather jacket factory using textiles. Another sweater factory not using textiles. And finally, the last blazer factory using textiles. Let's go to the supplier and see how the demand works. Okay, so I'm going to switch one more over. Like so. Because it looks like even just one manufacturing unit can make all the linen that I need. So I might as well switch this factory over to have two doing textiles. I'm not going to clear this one, I'll wait for it to clear. But once it clears, then I will have... should be at least meeting my internal demand for textiles, if not exceeding it somewhat. So let's revisit our goal. So we are very close to our annual profit goal, or annual revenue goal. We are, once again, well beyond our annual operating profit goal. So let's look at our dominance and see what we need to do to complete our dominance of the market. So it is still just jeans that are hanging out. We're getting some competition in for sweaters, so our market share is shrinking. I think that's really because of our wool supply problems. So it really is just jeans that we have to try to beat the competitor at. Alright, so competitor wants to buy my textile technology. I'm not going to do that. I mean, $6 million is chump change compared to what I have. And having just an internal supply of higher quality textiles than anyone else on the market is going to be very much to my advantage. So I'm not going to let him buy that. Let's look at jeans. Oh. Let's see what we need to do to stake out our claim. So in Seoul, we are at quality 51, and the competitors, yeah, so if I just bring my price down just a little bit, I'm just going to try to outcompete them by bringing my, like beating the competitors by, say, 10 points. They're trying to match me, so I'll get in a bit of a... Oh, sorry, they're the ones, they're selling my product as well, so they are going to have to match me, just because of the price agreement. So I want to beat Stars Radiate by 5 points, so I want my quality to be 65, my overall rating. Alright, in Warsaw, I am dominating the market here, by far, with my absolutely phenomenal price rating, so I'm not going to just see. So in Warsaw, I can actually raise my prices a little bit. Let's do some other goods while I'm here. Next is in Paris. So in Paris, the rating to beat is 90, and I am at 81, so I have to bring my price down I can get a rating of 100 and what that price looks like. And I'll apply that to both my stores in Paris. And then in Miami, so I am trying to beat 73. Let's get up to 83. That should help me just a bit more aggressively stake out a claim, which should be what I want to see. And hopefully that'll pay off. I should see people switching over to my own stores, or my own supply from the competitors. So let's take a look and see how that textile factory is going. So they're both choked by demand. Okay, so I can put some training in now. I don't want to switch this third one over to linen because I don't want to have I don't have to build a new factory for linen. That is not defeats the purpose. So I think the next thing I need to do is build a warehouse for wool. Because my wool supply is not able to meet the demand that my my factories are putting on it. If we go back to our dominance report, we can see that wool is something where I'm actually only very tenuously have a grasp on the market share. I've got 54%, which still has me in first place. I wonder who my competitor is. Let's look at... Forget it. Let's look at the sweaters market. There's the IQ company is trying to pretty aggressively beat me out. I'm selling these at a loss. Sorry, no, I'm not. I was reading that backwards. So in Seoul, there's no competitor, which is great. But here, the IQ company is beating me on price alone. And brand. Forget it. I'm going to go to my sweater warehouse and bring this price down. Anyway, so first things first, actually, before I worry with that, I do need to get my wool house in order. So I'm going to build a large farm this time to produce wool. Same thing here, but you are going to be an inventory unit. The training maxed out. And I'm going to build a large warehouse for wool. And so this will, by combining them like this, it'll even out the quality, it'll even out the price. Oh, I did this backward. These are the storage units, and these are the output. And also by having this demand, like, these storage units will fill up, so I can possibly get more value out of the shearing season. But that can't happen until I get to the next shearing season, when I do actually have wool available to buy. There'll be no point until then. So I am going to link this warehouse up to my existing wool unit, but it won't be able to sell me anything, and the next one won't show up as a wool unit until the next shearing season. So let's just do one more pass through our units. For jeans, I want to make sure I am beating the competitor on quality, so they are 98 is the one to beat, so let's get down to 108 if we can. 7. Oh, that should be more than enough actually, because their quality has dropped. Their rating. Okay, 107, great. Then move on to some more shops. Okay, my jeans factory. Okay, perfect. So my jeans factory is now over demand. Which is good, because I'm apparently selling jeans at a loss. Okay, so 74. So I want to go up to 84 with this one. And just beating by 10 points like this is a good way to make a really aggressive play at being the best on the market. I don't care my R&D units. This sweater, once again, I have no wool. Yeah, I really should have gone for a bigger factory. But I'm not too worried about that. I'm going to switch to internal sale for this leather farm just to not have any more clients. I need the leather more than I need the competitors buying from me. Okay, so here with the jeans, so they've gone up to 65, so let's see if I can get up to 75. They're trying to match me. $97. $87. Okay, there, I'm beating them by 10 points. They've backed off a bit, actually. Great. Where's that shop? It gets so crowded here, it's so hard to see where the shops are. There you are. Yeah, my wool is totally falling apart. Okay, so in Warsaw, 103. Okay, so they can't even compete. That's great. I can bring my price actually up a little bit. Go for 94. Okay, so I'm seeing some sweaters show up. Which I suspect means that my wool season has started. It has, so you are going to go to the other wool factory, wool farm, and buy these up, and then... So this way I should just be able to eke out more wool out of the shearing season. Now I want to switch all my sweater factories using the warehouse for wool. And this should solve some of our supply shortage problems. Hopefully. Just because there's another storage unit that can fill up with wool. So let's see where we are as far as dominance goes. With our goal, we still have only that to do. We've met all the other goals. Okay, we've actually hit the jeans goal. We are now the largest one. We've successfully outcompeted the other companies, but we've fallen back on the sweaters, probably because of that crippling supply shortage. So I'm just going to do one more pass here through all our suppliers, all our stores, all our units, let's look at that way, all our firms. Okay, so for this one I can back off 117, and the next one is 96, so if I raise my price up to be at 106, I will still be the best one. Oh, and there's the goal, perfect. So once the supply chain ended, the wool shortage ended, my wool demand peaked up, and I am back on top. Being that cool. So this is a good place Zane to end. Let's get the reward and see what the next goal is, and then we can plan that for the next episode. Here's the new goal. So the goal is to raise my annual revenue to $500 million and have market dominance in the leather goods industry. So that'll be a good thing to look at in the next episode. 20 years to do that, which I'm sure won't be a problem. It will just be a matter of using the same techniques that we've used up to now, but produce a hell of a lot more leather and some more market research, and then move into that leather goods sector. Look at the leather goods sector. It is leather belt, leather wallet, leather briefcase, and leather bag. So we'll need textile, steel, and linen. And good thing I know how to produce 2 of those things. And we'll see if we need to get into the steel business. I don't think we will, but that depends on what the market looks like. But we'll deal with that in a new episode. Until then, thanks so much for watching. This has been Capitalism Lab. I've been RJ Helms. If you have any comments, leave them below. If you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you in the next episode. Thanks so much.